Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to watch the press conference in Hungary Grand Prix. We will see what the drivers have on their mind and what do they think about this Grand Prix, about the track, the weather and everything. So we will see what their answers will be from the questions they will be asked from their journalist. So let's watch and let's see together.
A very warm welcome, everybody, to the drivers' press conference ahead of the FIA Formula One Hungarian Grand Prix. The usual three segments for you coming up. A few questions from me, then we'll go to the broadcasters, and then the print media. And the five drivers we have today need no introduction, but for anyone new, we have Fernando Alonso closest to me, then Oscar Piastri, Alex Albon, Pierre and Nico Hulkenberg. Which end should we start? Nico, why don't we start with you today? Great to see you. And you are enjoying a great run at the moment. 2 consecutive P6s. Just how confident are you in this car and what you can do with it going forward?
Yeah, it's definitely been good. It's been very positive. Austria was very good. Then we brought the updates to Silverstone, which added more performance and was a good step forward. And yeah, I think so far this season, obviously we had the halfway point after Silverstone that we are definitely one of the positive surprises this season. Recovering a lot of performance from last year. So it's been good. It's very enjoyable. Obviously racing for points. We've had I don't know how many point scorings now, but also a few times very close to the top 10. And obviously our ambition and target is to try and keep that up for the rest of the season.
Nico, after the troubles of last year, have you been surprised by the rate of progress that the team has made this year?
I think, yes, we surprised ourselves a little bit already in winter testing in Bahrain, and from the get-go, we found ourselves in better shape than what we could expect. I think it all goes down, to some reshuffling of the technical structures we had, within our team and the organization. And yeah, it's just been good and, like I said, very enjoyable and positive.
So what about here? It's a very different racetrack to Silverstone. Do you think you can be competitive?
I think so, and it goes back to my point from earlier. We've been, around the top 10 and competitive within the midfield and in the race for 5th fastest on many occasions, and I don't see a reason why it should be very different here.
Final one from me. Your teammate announced this morning that he's not going to be continuing with Haas in 2025. Can we just get a few words from you on Kevin Magnussen? How quick is he? Does he deserve a seat in Formula One next year?
Yeah, I enjoyed working with him these 2 years. It's been definitely enjoyable, and we get on really well. After our little romance here, like a couple of years ago, it was actually quite the turnaround of a relationship and kind of turned into a friendship. And I think we work well as a team. We're kind of pushing in the same direction most of the time, and yeah, it's been nice and a pleasure, and wish him well and all the best for his future.
All right. Thank you, Nico. Pierre, let's come to you now. So, Taylor Swift, are you a Swiftie?
Well, I guess I am now. Well, we are with Charles here. It was, I must admit, it was incredible experience. I've never seen and heard such, an energy in a stadium. So yeah, it was. Actually, we didn't even tell each other. I mean, we didn't talk with Charles before the concert, and turned out we ended up in the same place in the same area without letting each other know. So it was pretty cool, and yeah, a good night. A good night.
All right, let's bring it on to Formula One. Now, after 4 consecutive points finishes for you, it seems that the team lost a bit of momentum at Silverstone. Do you understand the issues with the car there, why it didn't perform so well?
Well, I think we didn't even get a real picture of the performance there. Obviously, the qualifying was, in mixed conditions. Didn't take part of it, and I didn't even take part of the race. So, on paper, from the free practice, I did 15 laps the whole weekend. Yeah, it seemed to be slightly more difficult. We know the track, with all these long straights and the efficiency you need on the power and the aero side maybe didn't favor our package, but I still think there would have been a chance to do something, and it was just a shame not to be able to race.
What do you need from the car to recreate that sweet spot that you both had in Barcelona?
Well, first to take the start and actually race, but then I think the car itself is, we know where we are. We haven't really developed over the last, the last few races, so we know how to maximize it. Obviously, others, like us, for example, making quite big steps forward and so tight in that midfield that it kind of reshuffle the order every time a team brings a new part. So I think we know we got to try. Not easy to score points until we get new upgrades on the car, which hopefully will put us a bit more in the fight.
Final one from me, teammate for 2025. Who do you want?
I think I said it already. I mean, I think Alpine, the team, has good options on the table. At the end of the day, it's not up to me. I welcome the fastest guy out there. We all know who it is. But then, I mean, at the moment, we gotta wait. But yeah, the team has 3 good options.
Have you spoken to Carlos?
I did my fair share of the job, but ultimately I believe in the projects we're building with Alpine, and I always back the team up. Now it's up to him to make his own decision.
All right, thank you, Pierre. Alex, let's come to you. Back in the points at Silverstone, after what had been some difficult races for you and the team, just how important was that 9th place?
It was good. It was good to kind of get another points finish for us. It was one of them races where it all just came together a bit more on a track that also suited us, which has suited us historically. So it was nice. Obviously, we're trying to catch up and overtake the guy to my right, and at the same time try and create some space to Sauber. So we're doing the right thing, and it's we're going in the right direction. But similar to Pierre, we're not putting things on the car. It's just getting the car in a good place for the one weekend that suited our car.
So a moment of reflection, just the 2 points finishes for you in the opening half of this season. How do you sum it up?
It's been tricky. I think obviously we wanted more. That's also just a bit of a testament towards the midfield teams doing a great job. I think Haas especially kind of came into this year, have been a bit of a surprise, and their updates are working, and they seem to be continuing forward. So the gap to the front has always been shrinking. It's just relatively speaking, we've not been as performant as some of the other midfield teams. So it's still a race, and it's still very close out there. One upgrade could put you back into the mix to fight for the points, but at the moment that's not going to be on our car this weekend, and we've got to focus on just maximising everything.
So what are the goals for here in Hungary?
We have low expectations. I don't think it's a circuit that should suit us. Kind of a little bit like Barcelona, hot, a bit more about pure downforce. So I think it's a good test for us. We've come up with some new options and new ideas coming from Barcelona, and thinking about how we want to address some of our issues. So we'll just go out there in FP1, try a few things and see if it works.
All right, best of luck with that. Thank you. Oscar, let's come to you now. You've spoken about missed opportunities at Silverstone last time out, where you finished 4th. Do you think you could have won that race had you not done that extra lap in the rain?
I mean, I think it would have been tough. I think at that point of the race, my options being the second car on track were always, slightly unfavourable. I think in certain scenarios, yes, probably could have won the race, but I think for a lot of people in that race, there's a lot of things they could have done a lot better, and I think a lot of people have a lot of what-ifs in situations like that. So, yes, I think we've analysed that and worked out where we could have gone better, and I think on both sides of the garage, I think we've worked very well together to identify where we went wrong. But yeah, I mean, I think the fact that we're in the hunt for that, I don't think we were, before the rain came, we were not the fastest car on track. We were 4th and 5th, and through the weather conditions and whatnot, we were able to get into a good position. And unfortunately, we made some errors from there. But I think the opportunities are always very, very tough to come by, and I think we're creating some of our own.
What lessons have been learnt from Silverstone?
I mean, obviously a few specific to that race in particular. I think a few in general. I think as we're now fighting back at the front, we're competing against teams that have been in this position for an incredibly long time. In some cases over a decade. So. It's been a while since as a team we've been regularly fighting in those positions. I don't think it's not an excuse for us to be able to get it wrong, but we are inexperienced compared to some of our competitors. So we're learning a lot as we go along. I think we've had a few races where we've really taken advantage of our opportunities, and maybe they haven't been commented on as much. But I think that's part of the game. When you're right at the front, these missed opportunities can be the difference between winning a race or finishing second, which of course has a bit more weight than if you're having the difference between a P6 and a P7.
Well, Oscar, Imola was a near miss. You could argue that Austria was a near miss. Silverstone was a near miss. How do you stop frustration creeping in?
I mean, a few ways. I think the fact that we're even having these opportunities in the first place is, we've been having opportunities for the last couple of months now, let's say, but, our memory is not that short. And, it was only 12 months ago that we were, finishing P3 and P4 was an incredible result for us. So I think we still have that. Of course, we can't live off that forever, and we need to, appreciate that we're in a much different position now. But also the opportunities have always been very different, and some of the circumstances have been in our control, and I think we've been very good at analysing that. I think a fair share of the circumstances has been out of our control as a team. So I think just focusing on what we need to improve for ourselves and not being caught up on the things that were out of our control, that's a massive part of it.
All right, thank you. Good luck this weekend. Fernando, let's come to you. Now, Spanish sport has just had an incredible Sunday with victories at Wimbledon and in the Euros final. How much did you enjoy it?
Well, the whole country enjoyed, for sure. I mean, tennis, we had an incredible run with Rafa Nadal for many years, 2 decades in the top spot, and now with Carlos. So yeah, I think we are in good hands there. He's very young, very talented, and yeah, I think that the whole country is enjoying every time he plays. And also in football, obviously, it's only every 4 years or every 2 years when there's the World Cup, and yeah, it was a good match on Sunday. I really enjoyed, and yeah, I wanted to win this one because obviously when you come to the race weekend again with all the mechanics and everyone in the garage, is much better like this. Yeah.
Good banter in the garage this morning, I'm guessing.
Didn't speak with anyone yet, but yeah, I think tomorrow when the free practice starts, we will close that page.
Well, let's bring it on to Formula One. We've just had 3 fast circuits, yet the car only seemed to come alive at one of them, at Silverstone. Can you explain to us why that was the case?
Well, I think it's quite difficult to have the car in the right window at the moment for us. We're struggling to maximize the potential of the car. I think in Barcelona, we started the weekend on the wrong foot, and yeah, we could not recover from that bad FP1, let's say. In Austria, with the sprint weekend, you only have one free practice, and yeah, again, we didn't optimize the package. And in Silverstone, yeah, we had a little bit more normal weekend. It was a little bit cooler as well, which probably did help our performance. And yeah, let's see here. It's another hot track, maybe similar to Barcelona in terms of corner speeds and things. So it's a challenge for us.
Look, it seems the car is difficult to set up. Can you just give us your reflections of the opening 12 races? What, best of 5th place in Saudi, the second race? How frustrating has it been for you?
It has been tricky. Yeah, I mean, up and downs as for everybody probably, but we started quite strong, I would say. In the first 4 or 5 races, we were quite competitive, especially on qualifyings. Close to Mercedes and even to McLaren sometimes, and then in the race we were going down. But yeah, the last 4 or 5 weekends has been even more difficult than that. So yeah, we need to improve our performance. We need to raise the level and get back to a more comfortable position.
All right, Fernando, thank you very much. Let's now open this to the floor. It's broadcasters first. David Croft, please. Yep.
Yeah, David Croft, Sky Sports F1. This is a question to everyone. And I'm sure you're looking forward to your summer break, but the Olympics will be on and you might be watching that. It amazes me that motorsport is not represented at the Olympics. How much would you like the chance to represent your countries in, say, a karting event? Men and women representing your nations and maybe answering the question as to who's the best F1 driver on the grid at the moment in equal machinery. I don't know who wants to start, but you fancy going for gold in the Olympics?
Fernando, more success for Spain.
I think we represent our countries in a way every 2 weeks. You know, this is not an Olympic sport yet, but ideally it will be nice to have it in the future, and sportsmen and racing drivers to have the possibility. But I think it's quite unlikely because we have the machine with us. We have even if you try to organize a go-kart race with exactly the same go-cars, it will never be exactly the same probably. So yeah, it is a very unique sport on that.
It's been done before in 1993 in Paris. What are your thoughts, Oscar?
I mean, more or less the same as what Fernando said. I think, with motorsport being so unique in terms of, the car and the equipment and the team around you providing such a critical element, it's very, very difficult to even that out 100% on any playing field. And I mean, I think a good thing about our sport is, yes, of course, we take a lot of pride in representing our countries, but I think we take a lot of pride in that, in most cases, the best of the best, regardless of your nationality or your background, can make it to the top. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool idea in theory, but I don't know how you'd do it in practice.
Yeah, I would say the same. I wouldn't mind it. I don't think we would be the ones to be karting, though. I think there's much quicker, much younger kids that would take it. Maybe Fernando not. I think he's still karting quite a bit, but I don't think I should be the Thai karter. I think there's quicker ones out there. But I love the concept of it. As these guys have said, it doesn't really lend itself towards an Olympic sport, but maybe just like Mazda MX-5s and everyone driving around. That'd be a lot of fun, but that would just, I think it would be too fun. That's true. maybe whatever manufacturer they want.
Yeah, same comments to the guys. I think it's just remember like Bercy. You see this footage from when the guys raced in. Yeah, and that's pretty cool. I remember as a kid, I really enjoyed watching and finding very inspiring to see. Lewis. I remember all the big names at the time. I was a kid, and I found it very cool. So probably doesn't work in a Olympic type of format, but maybe a one-off race. Not even every year, but once.
Haven't thought of it much. Maybe yes, maybe no.
All right, thanks all. Who's next, please? Yep.
Tom Slafer, DAZN Spain. Question for Fernando. Fernando, with the new parts coming in now for Hungary, what result would you be happy with for the last 2 races before coming to the summer break?
Difficult to say. I think it depends a little bit track to track, and it's very close in the midfield. I would love to finish both races in the points, and that will be a good sign that the new package is delivering what we expect. I think the top 4 teams are a little bit too far away from our reach at the moment. So yeah, I think we need to do smaller steps at the time, and being in the points on both races, that will be probably the target.
Thanks, Fernando. Any more from the broadcasters? Yes.
Thank you. Alessa Naujoks for RTL Germany. A question for Nico. Hi, Nico. You said that maybe Haas was the biggest surprise in those first half of the season. So how surprised were you by those strong performances, and what can we expect from you in your last 12 races with Haas? Thanks.
Yeah, like I said earlier already, I think our aim, and ideally, we want to obviously keep riding that good wave that we've been on recently. That's not going to be easy. It's very fine margins at the front, but also in the midfield. And a few tens can put you at the back or in P9, 10. So execution, clean execution of every weekend, maximizing your opportunities and chances is going to be key, very crucial. But I believe that we have a good, consistent package that will allow us to be competitive on any type of circuits that is coming. So I'm looking forward to the second half of the season and to that final stint with Haas this year.
Thank you, Nico. Right, any more from the broadcasters? If not, yes, we do. We have one more.
Giel van Koldenhoven for Fireplay. Question for Fernando. Fernando, I just saw a picture on social media from Lando's car park sign. There was something written on it. It was 2-1, Viva España. Was that you?
Not
or
me. No, not me.
Certainly not?
There is another Spanish
driver,
huh? So yeah, not me for sure.
That's a shame. All right, thank you. Gracias.
All right, thank you. Yep, another broadcast.
Tom Slayford on Spain. Question for Oscar. You were mentioning before the missed opportunities maybe that you had in the last few races, or the team had in the last few races. Did your approach change coming into the race weekends, knowing that you may win any given weekend? And do you have this feeling that your first victory in Formula One may be coming soon?
I don't think the approach changes, no. I think, for the majority of things that we've been doing in our approach, it's been working well. Of course, you learn things on the way, but I don't think it revolutionizes the things we're doing at the team. It'd be nice to be close. I think we've come close a couple of times. So I think from a performance point of view, and I think from a driving point of view, I think we're doing the right things. But with such a tight battle at the front now, there's really 4 teams involved. It's really not easy to get it. So I feel like it could be close, but I want to still make sure that I'm learning every weekend and coming out the weekends happy with what I'm doing, rather than focusing purely on the results.